Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where the people share the quotes that have shaped their lives and inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today, we're joined by Maureen Pound, a vibrant entrepreneur and solo parent from Melbourne. With a unique blend of humor and vulnerability, Maureen has navigated the complexities of dating and relationships, all while building a successful virtual assistant company and a thriving property portfolio. Let's dive into Maureen's journey and discover the wisdom that has guided her along the way. Tell us your name and your favorite quote.
So my name is Maureen Pound, and my favorite quote is, "Things don't end badly with me."
Okay. Can you explain that to us?
Sure. So my business partner wanted to date a guy at work, and she was very hesitant because she was concerned about people finding out, or what if they broke up after they dated and they still had to work together, and she was just really worried. And then he turned to her and said, "Carmen, things don't end badly with me." And it changed everything for her. She realised when he explained it that he had an attitude in life, that a non-blame attitude, understanding attitude, where if it didn't work out between them, that nothing bad would happen.
Okay. Okay.
So what does that mean in life? So I have gone into business with this particular friend, Carmen, and we don't worry about how it's going to end. We haven't even got a formal agreement in place because we know that things don't end badly. So we will work things out. So if you can go through life thinking that you're going to get along with everyone, and even if bad things happen, that it's all going to be okay in the end, then I think you're braver and you meet more interesting people and you take more risks because you're not afraid of what people will think of you, how you'll be treated, or how the relationship will end. Because many relationships do come to an end.
Yeah. Things don't end badly with me. Now, I really want to understand, where do you think this mindset or belief might be coming from? Why would one think that things end badly with them?
So how many marriages end up in the divorce courts? In America, for instance, there's so many because they're fighting. My friend, her and her husband broke up. They worked it out on a Post-it note. Okay, you can have that, I'll have that. Another friend broke up. His wife broke up with him, and he ended up continuing to be friends with her and ended up even hanging out with her new husband and going fishing. A lot of times there's the law is brought in, there's bitterness, there's upset, you blame someone. If you break up with a friend, sometimes you'll say this thing happened and it was their fault. So I think in a lot of circumstances, people often blame the other person when things don't, when they break up a relationship.
Yeah. Well, things don't end badly with me.
Yeah.
Well, but sometimes certain persons would want to argue that over the course of their life, they've had situations where everything seems to end badly. So what would we say as regards to that person? Now you're telling them that things don't end badly with me. So now they're kind of confused, asking, but this happened, but this happened, but this happened. What about that?
Oh, if something has ended badly with you.
Did you get the question?
What was your question?
Oh, is it breaking over there?
Yeah, so you are breaking up.
Man. Okay, let me see. The question I asked was, there are people who, in the past, things have ended badly for them. So now you're saying this, it's kind of confusing for them because they are like, okay, what about that time? What about this time? What about that time?
So how can they do it differently?
Yeah, like, how can they, because now it's a contradicting belief to what they've had experienced in the past. So what would you say to help them make sense of the quote?
So I think that what you believe, you make happen. If you believe it, even if it hasn't worked out for you in the past, if you start believing it, and then you make it happen. So even if, just say you've been friends with someone and then you don't see them very much anymore, they don't contact you anymore, they don't reply to your texts or your phone calls anymore. Now, you could get annoyed with them, or you could just, choose to believe that you don't need each other in your lives anymore, in each other's lives anymore, and that it hasn't ended badly. The person isn't a bad person. It's just they're just going on a different journey. So even if stuff's happened to you in the past, where things have ended badly, you can choose and create a different future for yourself where they don't.
Okay. So what would that look like, creating a different future?
Pardon?
What you mentioned that they can create a different future for themselves. So I'm asking you, what would the different future look like?
I can't hear you.
I said, how would they go about creating a different future for themselves?
So if you believe something differently, then you act differently and then you say different words. And so I think that's the key. It lightens the load in life by just having this belief that things don't end badly with you. And so if you say you start dating, then it's much more fun. If you're online having chats with people and they ghost you or they unmatch you, then you have a different attitude to it. You, instead of going, oh, they're mean, they're horrible, they've unmatched me, they ghost me, this always happens, and you spiral, you can say, oh, well, things haven't ended badly. We just weren't a good fit. The energy wasn't right. They weren't really into me. That's cool. And then you can move on to the next one. So it affects how you leave that relationship, even if it was an online dating situation, is then paves the way to your new relationships and your attitude. Because if you went, oh, they were a terrible person, that was shit, they didn't treat me well, then you might say, all online dating is terrible. I'm not going to do that anymore. And so your belief and attitude around that one circumstance then filters in to your overall beliefs about a thing and about a person as well, potentially. So if you say, well, things don't end badly with people, even people I meet online or whatever it is, then, and that doesn't mean to be a pushover, that doesn't mean to be taken advantage of, anything like that. You can still walk away from relationships as well, but you walk through life with your head held high, not blaming, taking ownership of your own stuff and how you behave around other people. And it's just a light, easy, happy way to live your life.
Yeah, the fear of suffering is greater than suffering itself. Can you, I loved the story you shared earlier on at the beginning. Can you give us two more to kind of to support or illustrate the quote?
Another example, maybe.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
example of things not ending badly. You know how people always blame their teachers? There's always one teacher in your past who didn't like you, who treated you badly, who told you were no good or whatever it is. And I think people hold on to that way too much. That teacher, you don't know what was going on for that teacher during that time. They might have been just trying to cope as well. Maybe you were very troublesome as a child and you were a pain in the ass and they had to teach you. So I think if you have that adage as well, things don't end badly, then you can let go of the hate towards past people. If you see the teacher differently, and I just think it's a healthier way, and it gives you the opportunity to be whoever you want to be in life, not taking what someone told you were bad at school or whatever, fighting against it, and trying to prove them wrong and being angry and all those things. If you're like, things don't end badly with me, that's how that teacher saw me at that given time, that's fine, and you can let it go. So I think having that saying as well helps you let go of things that have happened to you in the past that you've made. And I'm not talking about abuse or anything like that. That's a different thing. And, you need support around that. But just those little things that people have said to you that affect you, if you, just change the way you see it, things don't end badly. You have less hate towards the person, then it just lightens the load for you in your life for the future.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for sharing the quotes with us today. Yeah.
Okay.
Where can
Thank you.
where can listeners learn more about you and what you do?
So I help men with dating, online dating. So it's dating for men from a woman's perspective, and it's a lot around communicating with women and how to navigate what photos to put up and what things to say, what opening lines to get a woman's attention, how to be kind, how to get more dates. And so I have a website called howtogetlaidontinder.com. So that's if you want more information around that. Because online dating, you can have a lot of fun with it and things don't end badly if you have the right attitude.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maureen, for sharing your favorite quote with us today on the podcast.
No worries. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.